Hello, everyone. So this is from Sahara Reporters, where it says, that Kano residents riot, burn tires, demanding arrested kidnappers be handed over for mob justice. First of all, I am one person that would never support mob justice, whatever it is. Let the state take its course. Let there be prosecution, and it is only the courts that can have declaration on anyone. So that's for me. That's what. But one thing I know, Kano people, I'm born and brought up in Kano. So I'm more or less like a Kano person, right? Even though I'm from Edo State, my parents are from Edo State. But I grew up there. I grew up in the streets. I grew up in the ghetto. So I know the lingua of the streets and the behavior and everything. I always tell people the Kano that I know, a lot of the elite, they don't know the north that I know, because there's almost like an invisible divide between the rich and the poor. And for me, it was even when I got to university that I knew that this whole two different worlds existed, and it's only a few of us that lived on the other side, that are educated, are able to maneuver within those things. But one of the things is that if Kano people, if you say you are crazy, they will tell you that their own craze, you pass the craze way craze. That's why I was saying the other day, I was really shocked. I didn't even know that all of these kidnappings, whatever, had really gotten into Kano. And then here we are, the residents are coming out to protest, because what they're saying here is that there seems to be like a collusion where the government is sort of like supporting, the activities of the terrorists going on, and these kidnappers, terrorists, whether you call them bandits, whatever it is that you call them, they seem to be getting away with a whole lot of things. They do anyhow, even when they are arrested, somehow they are called, and then instead of prosecution to happen, you find out that they are allowed to go scot-free. He said there was tension on Monday in the Koperua area of Kano State. Koperua is inside town, so it's not as if it's village. I mean, it's on the way to where I used to go to school. I schooled in BUK Staff Secondary School, around Janguza side, before you get to Janguza, where the BUK new campus is. So Koperua is inside town. It's not as if you're going to a village or whatever. He said there was tension on Monday in the Koforua area of Kano State as aggrieved residents poured onto the streets, burning tires and demanding that police release arrested suspected bandits so they could deal with them themselves. In a video obtained by Sahara reporters, thick smoke rose from burning tires placed across the main road as residents shouted in anger over reports that suspected kidnappers had been brought into the station. The unrest forced police operatives to storm the area in a bid to restore calm and prevent escalation. Eyewitnesses said the crowd became enraged after learning that the suspects were being held within a police station. In a video, a man is heard saying they brought kidnappers to open where people swore that they will pull them out and kill them. That's why the police refused and even blocked the road with tires. The police presence was described as swift and forceful as officers moved to put out the fires and disperse the gathering crowd to prevent situation from spiraling into mob violence. At the time of filing this report, normalcy had been partially restored. Those residents remained on edge. Police authorities had yet to issue an official statement regarding the identities of the arrested suspects on the cause of the unrest. Let me just quickly add here also that, this is part of the things that we fear. When we get to a place where citizens are saying they want to take their own action, they are not trusting, neither are they believing in the police, then it becomes a major problem, a real problem that is going to be an issue for every one of us, because the only authority that should have monopoly of violence is supposed to be the state, and it disperse puts it in a way as to enforce law and order and protect the territorial integrity of the country. It's not to put it in a way that they are infringing on people's human rights, because even when the state does that, then the state is abusing the powers that it does have. Is to ensure that human rights, are upheld, people are protected, people are safe within where they are, their community, their houses, and all of that, protection of life and properties, and taking care of the welfare of the people. But if you now deploy it and you now get to a place where people no longer believe in your capacity to protect them, believe in your capacity, to keep hold of the monopoly of violence, then anything can happen, like the thing that we're seeing right here. So this is what happens when people begin to lose trust in government. Sahara reporters previously reported that the League of Civil Society Organization (CSOs) in Kano State have called for the urgent depoliticization of security in the state, urging the deployment of advanced technology, intelligence-led policing, and cross-party cooperation to tackle the rising wave of banditry and kidnapping. I mean, the banditry and kidnapping is on an all-time high, and it's really shaping our lives in so many ways that we don't know. Things that you do before, you just wake up, you just feel like traveling, enter your car, travel, you don't even think about anything. Now you have to think about a lot of things. Now you can't move as much as you can. In short, schools are being shut down. There's nothing more evil than that, to see that children are being denied the opportunity for them to get education, the opportunity for them, to then grow. And this will continue to bring that, generational poverty to keep being entrenched in the way that I seen. In the press statement released on November 30, 2025, the CSOs described the escalating insecurities as a humanitarian and security monster threatening the peace, economy, and social fabric of the historically stable country. The statement highlighted the proliferation of kidnappings and community incursions, particularly in the southern and western region of Kano, including areas bordering Kaduna and Katsina. And so, of course, Kaduna is a place where you have a lot of this insecurity happening. Katsina is also a place, and Kano happens to border both of them. So, at those ends, you're finding this whole thing happening. The CSOs warned that criminal syndicates have shifted operations into Kano using dense forests, such as Falgore, as staging ground, exposing communities in Tudunwada, Sumaila, Rogo, and Shanono to a new corridor of terror. They emphasized that the rural expansions of terrorism is compounded by porous borders, small arms proliferation, and the emergence of a lucrative kidnap-for-ransom economy, which has disrupted agriculture, displaced residents, and undermined community resilience. And I like the way they put the kidnap-for-ransom economy, because right now it's actually an economy that a lot of people are get into and going into more and more, because at the end of the day, where are you going to see that humongous amount of money that they tend to demand? What businesses are you going to do? Maybe that you see at once you're making such amount of money. And if the government does not take its responsibility, which is the protection of lives and property, seriously, this is going to happen, where terrorists will continue to kill the people indiscriminately. So it's important for every one of us to hold the government accountable and ensure that they protect lives and properties of the people, because any government that cannot protect the lives and properties of its people is not fit to be called a government. Thank you so much for watching.